There are many times that you will be working with larger spreadsheets in Excel. I want to talk a little bit about navigating and working with large spreadsheets. You can go directly to other cells and navigate to other cells. So some of the basics, and I've got those listed here, are just using the arrow keys on the keyboard to go to different cells, left and right and up and down and so forth. You can also use the tab button on the keyboard, and if you use shift and tab and hold down shift and then press tab, it will take you to the left. Now if I use the control with the arrow keys, let's say if I'm at the top of the department and I want to go down to the bottom of that column, I can press control down and that will take me to the bottom of the column, and the same for the up arrow and the same for the left and the right arrows. So just hold down control and those arrows and it will take you to the end of that column or row. Now we can do the same thing with control home. Notice I'm sort of in the middle of the spreadsheet. If I press control, hold down home, it will take me to the first cell. And if I press control and end, it will take me to what it thinks is the last cell in the spreadsheet. Now, a couple of other ways that you can navigate is if you are clicked in a particular cell. Let's just go here. Now, if I go here and you see the plus sign with the arrows to the bottom of that cell, I can double click and it will take me to the bottom of the column. And then if I go to the top of the cell and double click, it will take me to the top of the column. And it's the same thing for the left and the right. You can also use the page up and page down keys on the keyboard, and those will scroll through what it considers to be pages. Another way you can do that as far as navigating to certain cells is to go here to the name box and type in the particular cell. Now that does require that you know which cell you need to go to, but let's just say I wanted to go to I6. So I'll type in I6 in that name bar or name box, press enter, and it takes me to I6. Now, you can highlight your data a little bit easier using some of these methods. So if I wanted to highlight all of this data, and you can see there's quite a bit there, but I can click at the top of the column where those letters are in the header and select the entire column. And I can select more than one at a time that way. You do the same thing for your rows. Okay. Now you can, one of the more direct methods you might want to highlight is, let's go to this cell and we're going to click in the middle of the cell. See that open plus sign? We're going to click and drag, and you can highlight cell ranges as well. And you just have to make sure that you're in the middle of the cell with that open plus sign and highlight. You just drag to highlight whichever cells that you need to highlight. The other way, let's say if we want to highlight all of the departments, we would use the control down key, down arrow, to highlight the entire, or to go to the bottom of the column, right? The control arrow. So if we use the shift key with that, press control, hold it down, press shift, hold it down, and then while you have both of those held down, press the down arrow and it selects all of that values in the column. Okay. Now you can go from the bottom to the top as well using control shift up arrow, and it's the same if you use control shift right arrow and so forth. So that allows you to select the data in a column or a row. And we talked a little bit about the name box. You can also highlight data from here if you type in the cell range. So let's say A6 colon I10 to highlight those cells. That gives us our range. We're going to press enter, and that highlights those cells for us. Another way you can do this is if you want to highlight all of the cells in the spreadsheet, if you go to the left of the A and above the 1, there's a little box there with a triangle, and that will, if you click that box with a triangle, it selects the entire spreadsheet. So that way, if you wanted to highlight the entire spreadsheet, change the font, the color of the font, or so forth, you can easily do it with that button. There are a couple of other options here for zooming and freezing the panes. I'll just show you how to freeze the panes really quickly here. If you want to show these column headings at the top of the page when you scroll, I'm going to click here, and that makes a difference where you click, and it's going to freeze whatever's above that. So I'm not going to freeze the top row because that's row 1. I'm just going to freeze the pane where I am. You can see the line, and if you scroll down, you can see the column headings will stay as you scroll. Now we can go back to unfreeze the panes. So if I click here, let's notice the difference. I'm going to go to freeze panes again, and now you can see it will freeze whatever's above and to the left. So again, those column headings, but if I scroll to the right, you can see that the warehouse ID stays the same, and that's very helpful when you're working with larger spreadsheets. Just try out those different techniques and practice, and it will be really easy.